And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, February the 8th, 2020. Season 14, Episode 3. We're a weekend of February, and it's only Episode 3.
Sometimes it just be like that.
God, man. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
And I'm Nathan.
Yeah. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Let me do this. There. So I can sync that up later when I do the editing on the video, which, again, I hope I remember how to do all that.
We're going to be talking XFL today.
Yeah, right.
Who is your favorite team and why?
I sent somebody a text just a minute, not a minute ago, but whatever, a little while ago, saying it is 2020 and I'm watching the XFL. Oh, what a time to be alive. Of which I haven't felt alive for the past 3 weeks. So, it has been a, so I took a week off. I took a weekend off. That was it. Just took a weekend off, no problem. And then Tuesday, I decided to get on the elliptical and work out. And not this Tuesday, not last Tuesday, the Tuesday previous that. So, going way back. Decided to get on the elliptical and actually get some exercise. And then I got sick. So, let that be a lesson to you for anybody who wants to think about getting healthy. It'll kill you. Yeah, I got sick. I woke up the next morning, scratchy throat, and I thought, oh, man, this is the beginning of something happening.
And when you get sick, it hits you hard.
Apparently it does. I'm weak. So, honestly, I took a precaution. So I got it that Tuesday. I woke up Wednesday with a scratchy throat. By Thursday, I was like, oh, this is bad. And so I said, you know what? Let's just not do a show this next weekend. I'm going to rest. I could have done a show that weekend, but I thought, let me rest and get this out of my system and whatever. And
play it safe, you know.
So I loaded up on medication and I slept. I mean, almost all weekend I slept.
So you got good and doped up, right?
Yeah, and then it didn't go away, you know? Yeah, well, I suppose it did, like the congestion and everything else, that sort of left, but what I was left with was hardly a voice. If you guys checked out our Twitter account, which you can go to at In-Game Chat on Twitter, the last thing I think we posted was I posted a video last week at 4 o'clock when we were supposed to go on the air. And it was basically part of it was to give away something because I was like, man, this was unplanned. I'm so sorry. Here's a free old movie. Ant-Man. It was Ant-Man. It was a digital code for Ant-Man, but it was in 4K. I was like, here's a digital code for this. I got an extra one. It's old. But I wanted to talk on the video, which I did, so that you could understand this is why we're not doing a show, because my voice was so completely just horrible. So, yeah, and now finally we're able to do one, and I've forgotten some of the things that we do. I've forgotten some of some of the different things that we go through on a routine basis. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. This has to happen. This has to happen. So anyway, bear with us. Kind of getting back in the saddle type of thing. Motel. Yeah, he posted a link to the Twitter video, and you can listen to me try and talk about that. But that's why we didn't do a show last week. So yeah, but I'm better now. I feel totally fine. The voice still needs a little bit of. I'm still sniffling. You know, I'm still doing a lot of sniffs. I'm still draining and all that stuff. So that's still happening, but I feel fine. So anyway, good to be back. Thanks for coming back with us. We appreciate it.
We're glad you're still alive.
Yeah. It's been an interesting past couple of weeks here trying to get through all this stuff, and not only that, other people in the building. Because I mean, when you work in radio, which is my day job, is why we got this space to do this show in. Look at what I'm talking into right now, which is a microphone. So everything I say gets plastered onto the front of this thing. Then somebody else comes in, sits down behind me, talks and sucks it all in. You know, so. It's essentially a kindergarten class, and it just gets passed around very fast.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. And we were very close to doing a show last week. I was very close to coming in. Even sounding like I did, I was very close to coming in.
Yeah.
I had actually prepped the night before. Because I think you probably got an email notification saying, hey, he shared a thing with you.
Yeah.
Because we were good. I was good for going. And then I woke up Saturday and was like, voice is still not back. Voice is still doing what it's doing. So all this music that we have for today was stuff I acquired last week in prep for that show that never happened. So anyway, our number is 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can also find us on Facebook there as well. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv. You can find us there. Search for In-Game Chat in the little search bar there, and you'll be able to watch us. Go to our website and just click on the link. That's the easiest thing to do. You'll find us there. You can join in the chat room, and you can chat with everybody who is hanging out in there with us. And by the way, everybody in chat, thanks for sticking around. I know that I'd given a heads up the week that we weren't doing a show, but then the past 2 weeks were kind of on the fly, it's not happening sort of things. And so I really, really appreciate you guys. Sticking by us and still being there. You know, I realize you have other things that you can watch and do. Play video games, watch the XFL, STM Fuller, or anything else.
Or bet on the XFL.
Or bet on the XFL. Well, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, there's other things you can do, and that you guys are going to spend the next 2 hours with us. We do appreciate it. Nate, same to you. There's other things you could be doing.
Happy to be.
And I'm really glad you are. I know you won't be back next week. Maybe we can get Matt to come back and do a show. RJ, thank you for showing up. Thank you for almost coming in last week. Pretty much being prepared to do so.
Yeah.
And then not having it. So.
And thank you, Scott, for coming in.
Right? Yeah. You're welcome. you thank me now. Wait until 2 hours go by. See if you're thanking me then.
Yeah, no problem.
To cover the games that I've played.
The game of life.
I've barely touched Destiny. I will tell you this. I've barely touched Destiny. I really have. So, I mean, there's a lot that's happened in Destiny since we talked. They did this huge, elaborate puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did this massively elaborate puzzle.
They have like 9 million combinations.
Oh, my God. It was unreal. It was unreal the way they did this puzzle. But there was some lore to be found, and there was an emblem to be found, and you had to do this convoluted thing. But all it required of me was to sign in twice and run through a maze. It didn't require me to fight. There was things to fight if I wanted to, but it didn't require me to. I could just bypass them. And I did that. And so I did that for 2 days in 1 week. And that was it. And I never touched Destiny again. And then I came back to it the next week when the code had been broken, the puzzle had been solved, and I ran through and did what I needed to do for that, and then got the exotic that dropped for doing all of that, and ran through the steps you had to do to actually acquire the exotic. Doing the massive puzzle got you the mission for the exotic, aquatic, and then once you got the mission, then you had to do steps to get it. It all took me the span of less than an hour to get that done, and then again, I was done. I didn't have to play it again. I had done all of my stuff. My guy's not completely maxed out as far as power, but it's enough so I don't have to worry about it. And now it's a lot of doing the same thing. I'm barely playing the game, waiting for, I think their Valentine event, which is just a week long, starts next week. And I might do some of that. I might not. I don't know. We'll see.
Depending on what they offer.
It really depends on what they offer. So far, I have done all the triumphs, trophies, whatever you want to call it, for any seasonal event. Mm-hmm. It gives you absolutely no score or anything else, but I've done everything. And so I kind of don't want to break that tradition, but we'll see. Some people are speculating because, they data mined into the PC aspect of it. They data mined into what was released and found the same stuff that was there from last year. And so either it's just, do this, but in 2020, or it's going to accumulate with what we'd already done. I have no idea. I mean, I don't have to do anything. So who knows? But anyway, Destiny right now has become I've done it, give me something new to do, and I'll do that. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people, it's actually kind of become that as well. For a lot of people online, I've been seeing that. They Season of Dawn, the new season, had a strong start in December. Had a real strong start in December. But then I was done with it within a month's time. I had done everything, and they had time gated some things. So it's like, you can't yet do this. Yeah. You can see that you're supposed to do this, but we've time gated that. We're not releasing that yet, so you can't do it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it was, I've done everything. I'll just wait until they let me do this, and then I'll do that. And so that's what I was doing. And I did not play a lot of Destiny. I did, however, being sick and then hearing about the coronavirus and everything else, I did play a lot of Plague Inc. So I don't know if you played that. I don't know if you've ever played that, RJ.
No.
Plague Inc. But I had a lot of fun running through that. I realized that I had not done a lot of stuff in the game. I think I'd only played it maybe once, a couple of times just to see how good I could get at it, but really didn't jump back into it. And then, so I was sitting there kind of, sick, whatever. And it's a nice game that I don't have to really focus a lot of.
Are you playing mobile or PC?
PC.
Okay.
But it's a nice game to where, like, Destiny is a shooter thing, and you got to go and do this, and then shoot and do this, and blah, blah, blah. This is just a sit-down, point-and-click type thing, Just kind of...
strategy.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't really take a lot of me to play, and so I played it. And I played a lot of it. In fact, some of the music that we've got is coming from Plague Inc.
Where do you start?
Today. Where do I start?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends on the bonus that I give it. And usually the bonus that I do give it gives it a bonus in, I want to say it was arid places, or humid places, something like that. I always start in like Egypt. I always start in a very desert area, but I make sure it's got a port and an airport. So a seaport and an airport. Okay. So that's usually that's where I usually start. That or Saudi Arabia sometimes. Not in Saudi Arabia, the opposite of Egypt, whatever's on the other side of Egypt, that also has a port and an airport, a seaport and an airport.
I remember playing that back when it was a browser game. I mean, way back when.
They've released a new one.
Wow, 2012?
Yeah. Huh?
Initial release date was May of 2012?
Probably for Plague Inc. Evolved. But probably if he's playing the browser version, it probably goes way back further than that.
I don't remember how long ago it was.
Yeah. Rebel Inc. I think is the new one that they've done. It's in early access right now on Steam.
I haven't played that one.
Plague Inc. came up in the Oh, no, I used it for one of my random facts that I do on the morning show. Because it talked about every time a new virus breaks out, Plague Inc. sales increase by ever how much. Yeah. And so I had to explain to the other guys on the show what Plague Inc. was. And you have to understand, I'm trying to rush through this because we got to move on to the next stuff. And so,
2016, that was the other one that came out. Then.
I'm simplifying how a game like Plague Inc. works to two guys who have no idea how basically any games work. And basically they know their idea of video games is shooting simulator. You know what I'm saying? Go out killing things. Kill the bad guys, kill the aliens, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. So my quick and dirty is, well, you start out as a virus and then you plant yourself somewhere and see how many people you can infect and try to infect the world. Which to them is like, oh, great. It's another, what's the term? It's another thing bringing society down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't put a good light into it.
That's
but
fair.
honestly, if I had, well, you can
break it down simply.
That's the Franks and beans of it. I mean, that's the.
You can break it down simpler than that. I'm a virus. I'm trying to kill everybody. That's
it
the point
is,
of the
yeah.
game.
Yeah, but see, you say everybody.
Take that for what you will.
You say everybody, and that's just like, oh, everybody on the level, everybody in the mission, or everybody in the, When I say I'm a virus and I pick a spot that I infect, and then I try to infect the world. That gives it a more broader aspect than I'm just trying to kill everybody. Because everybody may mean, what, all the bad guys in the game, all the aliens? No, the world.
No, anything that lives.
Yeah. And the world. Which, honestly, what's interesting is that as you go and play new levels, sometimes you're not trying to do that. Did you play any further missions?
The last time I legitimately played was when it first came out.
Okay.
Because it was actually would have been probably the first time I legitimately tried to play it was on an iPad, so it would have been way back, probably about 2012. But I don't remember the missions. So I haven't played it.
Yeah, no. The first two, or maybe it was three. It's either the first two or three missions. Basically, you start out as a bacteria or a virus or something else, and then. There's one that is called, I don't know what it's called. You start by infecting people. Mm-hmm. But then as you start to upgrade the virus to do more infections and to get stronger and to be more immune to different things, it unlocks another path that your virus can take. Mm-hmm. And it basically does the whole zombie thing. So now people that die from this will...
Oh, they've changed it up completely.
Yeah. Okay. It's like one of the symptoms of being infected means that you drool a lot. And that then another symptom of being infected means that you start, chewing on your fingertips or something like that. And then this, and then all of a sudden... And then it gets into zombie mode. So suddenly you have this mission has two different endings. You can either go the ending that changes everybody into zombies...
Yeah, they've completely changed.
Or you can go the ending that kills everybody and doesn't get zombies around at all. You can do that.
Rafe put in the chat room a statement from Endemic Creations about the corona outbreak.
Yeah, no. He said it's not a simulator, and I've never played it as a simulator. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, look, this is not a simulator. Don't be throwing that in there to see what's going to happen. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. Anybody who ever thought this was a simulator.
Kind of is, kind of isn't.
It's not. It's not a simulator. It doesn't take into effect what actual...
But to dumb down.
Yeah, but it doesn't take into effect what actual methods are being used to fight the virus or anything like that. No, yeah. It doesn't take into effect that they can get their hands on the virus and figure out ways to mutate it or
gotcha,
work out a vaccine for it or something like that.
Part of it.
Yeah, no. It's just it's running on a statistical engine of
RNG.
Yeah, numbers and things. So yeah, it's just like Sims isn't a city simulator. On how to build and how a city's going to work. City Skylines isn't the same thing. Any kind of simulator that is game. Most of them aren't gamified. They're just practical simulators, like Flight Simulator. That's a good simulator. Always has been. There's been some driving simulators.
Euro.
And I can guess that they are. The problem is I've never driven on some of those roads to know if I'm going to have that kind of track, or in some of those cars to know if I'm going to have that kind of traction.
18-wheeler yet?
Yeah, or to have that kind of traction, or be on that kind of road and that kind of condition. But I can pick a plane that I've actually flown. I can pick the wind conditions and everything else that I've actually flown in, and be like, okay, let's take this up. And,
Got a question from Bam O'Brien about Plague Inc. It says, you have people in the game fighting you, or do you have just infect random people?
No, you have so in Plague Inc. you have a couple of things fighting you. Your goal is to infect the entire population, but if you get too severe too fast, then countries will start closing their borders. Mm-hmm. Maybe the country that you infected is going to close its borders so you can't escape from that area. Or maybe some other country across the ocean has closed its borders so you can't infect that area.
Or airports or,
Yeah, exactly. So
you got to be subtle.
You've got to be strategic with it. One of the tougher missions or levels, whatever, the bacteria has or the virus or whatever it is, the plague. It has a rapid kill rate. So people can die off before more people get infected. So you have to slow that up. You have to be very cautious with how you do that if you're trying to get everybody infected.
But then you can make it highly infective, but not very dangerous.
The other part of this is that you get points. So, they gamify the whole thing. So you get these points, and you use those points to upgrade the virus, to evolve the virus. But some of the virus symptoms can evolve themselves. They can spread so much that they'll grow to evolve into, your virus has now evolved to affect muscle movement. Well, is that lethal? Nope. Okay, we're fine. But as soon as it starts to become lethal, then people start dying off of it. And if that's too soon, you don't want that to happen. So you need to be very careful with how that works. You can devolve some of the aspects of it, but that costs points. Mm-hmm. You need points to upgrade your virus. You also need points to hold off your virus from upgrading itself, from evolving itself to a point that you don't want. There's a certain point in the game where when it starts to evolve itself into more deadly things, you're fine. I'm already in every single country. And there's a whole statistic thing that shows you how severe, what countries are infected, what countries aren't infected, and how severe those countries are infected.
Mm-hmm. And then as well, you have each of the major countries have scientists that are working on cures. Mm-hmm. And so throughout the game, when they come up with new possible ways to cure it, there's little bubbles that pop, and then you pop those, and it gives you buttons, and it stops their increase in trying to stop you.
Some of your missions, by the way, in the further missions, they start with like a 20%
cure rate.
Right, because the disease or the virus or whatever it is already man-made. Mm-hmm. So they are already 20% into finding a solution for that. Yeah. Whereas the other stuff is just like, here's something that's out there, blah, blah, blah. So the only two I have left, they have a vampire one, which I have not played that one yet. And then they have that one from Planet of the Apes, which the simian flu is what it is. Those are the two actual missions that are in the game. After that, I can go to the scenario projects. And the scenario projects are, we're going to start you off with, you've already infected this many people. You already have this many points. The cure is already this far done. Find a way to finish it, with all of this. So the scenario ones, and there's a lot of different aspects of the scenarios. The Black Plague is one that I did, which basically gives you the Black Plague. However, the odd thing about the Black Plague, they don't start you in the era of the Black Plague, which means there would be nobody finding a cure for this. They start you in modern times with the Black Plague, where people can find cures and that there are airplanes and ships and things like this. So, but there's one
it would also take about 3 months for the virus to spread.
Oh gosh,
I think that was a Blacklist episode, wasn't it? someone had gotten told.
Well, it doesn't have to transfer through ships because you can upgrade birds and you can upgrade your virus to be carried by birds.
I meant if it was in the 1500s.
Oh, okay. That's it. Well, still, you can still upgrade it to be carried by birds and fish and different things. And so, yeah, it can move. It can still move pretty fast. The different scenarios are there too. There's one for anti-vaxxers. There's a scenario for anti-vaxxers. There's a fake news scenario where you have to battle the press.
They completely changed it.
Oh no! Well, it's not. These aren't the actual missions. These are the scenarios that they put into.
Yeah, but there weren't even scenarios.
Oh yeah, no. And then of course you can download missions that people have come up with.
The last time I legit played, it was just easy, medium, and hard.
Yeah.
Like it was just, and then you just tried to infect. That was it.
But it's gotten. You own the game, right, on Steam? Oh, you don't. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It was on my iPad.
Oh,
when I was playing it years and years and years ago.
Was it Plague Inc. Evolved?
It had to have been. I guess. I don't know.
I think the iPad version probably still has all that stuff. It probably already upgraded to all
probably
that
does,
stuff.
but I also don't have an iPad
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Never mind.
I'll just get it on Steam.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a little fun thing for me to just kind of sit down and play.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I didn't have to put in a whole lot of effort. It wasn't me pointing and shooting and things like that to get everything done or jumping or I don't know. Just it didn't require a lot of effort on my part, and that was exactly what I was looking for me. And I looked at other games too. I went through my whole list and I was like, oh yeah, there's that. I could play some of that right now. It's weird when you aren't driven to play the game that you normally play, for me, like Destiny. But not only that, I was also in a mood to not play anything close to something like it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I didn't feel like doing any of that. What I felt like playing was something very minimal. Something that didn't require, like City Skylines, if I wanted to fire that up again, would have been something I would have done. Mm-hmm. Just sit there and let me look at it and place a building here, see what happens. Place a building, just very, very minimalistic and didn't require a lot on my part. Mm-hmm. Red Dead probably would have been good to do, just to sit on my horse and ride around for a while or something like that, but I never fired that up. But I had a ton of games on Steam where I could have just said, yeah, what was this? I was stuck with Plague, and then I got hooked on it. It's kind of addictive. It can be kind of addictive for you to sit there and do that. So I did a little bit of that. So anyway, I didn't mean to take up 30 minutes of talking about what I played when I didn't really play a whole lot, but here we are. When we come back, we'll get to what RJ's played. We'll get to what Nate's played. We'll try and cover some of this news that we've missed out for the. Look, I'll be honest with you. I didn't go and grab everything that's been happening for the past 3 weeks. I picked up a couple of things that were kind of big in the time being. I can't remember what they are now, but I see some of them now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll go over some news stuff as well. But just kind of getting back in the saddle. You can hear my voice is probably not going to last for the full 2 hours here if I keep going like this. So, excuse me. Here is music from the Plague Inc. folks, but it's on their new game called Rebel. Either Rebel Inc. or Rebel Inc. I think it's Rebel. I haven't played it. I only watched the trailer, and I thought, well, it's got to be something sort of like Plague is, right? But I guess you own or not own, but you start as a, I don't know, a group of people trying to not be overthrown by somebody else, and you get bigger and move around. I guess it's more of a fighting thing than it is than a disease. Mm-hmm. You're more like a tribe or a group of people who are trying to. I don't want to say overthrow a government because I don't think that's the case, but I don't know exactly what it is.
I'll just read the summary.
What does the summary say?
A unique and deeply engaging political/military strategic simulation from the creators of Plague Inc. balance competing civilian and military priorities and deal with a deadly insurgency in order to stabilize a war-torn country.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know if it grabs me as much, but this is music from that game. It's called The Saffron Fields. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chats. Music here from a game called Synthetic. Legion Rising. I don't know anything about it. It's the main menu music. Synthetik. Synthetique.
Sounds right.
It's synthetique. Magnifico. Synthetique. Magnifique. Synthetique. Bama Bryan says Plants vs. Zombies. That would have been a game that I would have sat down and just, while sick, I would have done. That would have been bad. That would, yeah. Ooh, a good tower defense would have been good for that. What is that one?
Balloon?
No, there was one that was done. I mean, this is going way back because I visited the studio that actually built the game. Man, I can't remember it.
Kingdom Rush?
No, it wasn't. Tower defense. It's probably something like Defenders or something. I can't remember. Not Desktop Defenders. Defense Grid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Defense Grid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never played that, but I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Defense Grid is one that I would have sat down, and they did a sequel too. But that would have been a game that I could have done a nice little, sat down and played it.
That was a cool one.
Yeah. And by the way, what have you guys been playing? RJ, what's been on your list lately?
Well, we were talking off the air, but I played a little bit of Destiny 2 myself. But I was still using the doing the story mode for Cade. What was it called? Forsaken.
Okay.
Yeah, doing Forsaken for that one. And I got to the point in the story where Cade's gun was available, the Ace of Spades.
Yeah, but that's a long mission.
But unfortunately, I saw one of the requirements to get the thing was to play a bunch of Crucible missions. So I was like, "Yep, I don't want it that much." So
it's
I
a long.
I let that alone.
It's a long slog.
Yeah,
it was one that it was one that was going to take me a while to get, and basically that's what a lot of some of those weapons, especially the Crucible weapons.
Oh yeah, a lot of things are like that. It's like get this thing, it opens up a mission, then you have to go through all these trials to get it, and I'm like, I don't want it that much.
Yeah.
I think I'll just stick with what I got.
Well, I will say for some of those Crucible weapons, I did do, in essence, what is cheating. But it was basically just bypassing all the amount of kills that you have to do with.
You mean cheesing?
No, cheesing. Yeah, that's another way. Well, put it this way: I didn't hurt anybody else's game. In other words, I didn't grief. I didn't go into anybody who was trying to play legitimately and screw with them. There were back in the Blizzard days when you could use the Blizzard app to switch over to the Asian servers. A group of 8 of us would get together, and we'd be able to figure out how it's going to match make and pull us together in the same team. And so all 8 of us would be, 4 of us would be on one team, and then the other 4 would be on the other, but we could all talk to each other. And so we'd just be like, okay, you get kills. Now you get kills. Okay, you get kills. You get kills. You do this. You do this. And so we just did that over and over and over and over and over again, just to get it done and out of the way. So there are 2 to 3 Crucible weapon guns that I have that I did not get legitimately.
What you got?
And I am perfectly fine in saying that.
Yeah, but
I would never steer anybody wrong with that, by the way. I'd never show that off and be like, yeah, I got the gun. You don't know. I'd be like, no, man. You got the gun too, and you probably did a lot of what I did to get it.
Yep.
But yeah, so no, I totally worked the system. Oh, there's a great glitch in the system right now that was just revealed yesterday, but apparently it's been there forever. I say forever, but it's been there for at least the beginning of this season. Warlocks. What do you play, Titan?
Titan.
You play Titan. What do you play? You don't play anything.
I did play Warlock.
The Warlock. The Warlock Dawnblade class.
Yeah.
So the Dawnblade class has 3 different tiers. There's the top one, which is still you throwing flaming swords.
Yeah.
The bottom one is you throwing flaming swords. The middle one is that health, that pool of health or whatever. So the top tree and the bottom tree, you can pick any one of those that you want to. When you activate your super, go into your menu and switch weapons. Just your kinetic weapon, your first weapon. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what weapon you switch it to. Just take one that's in your inventory, pop it in, and then go back out and keep firing. You will have infinite super until you stop firing. It's a glitch, but I don't know how long it's been in there. I think mostly people didn't find that out because basically when their super is up, they stop using it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you just keep firing, days. Just days and days and days.
And that's in Crucibles too?
Any part of the game. I went into Crucible and did it last night. Just to be like, let's see how bad it is. The first time I triggered it and popped it, it didn't work. I did all my supers, and as soon as it came down to the end, I was back to normal. I was like, oh, crap. So just before the match ends, just before we finish the match, I got another super. I popped it off, did the thing, stayed with it this time. It worked. And, I mean, I must have killed, I don't know how many people there, but it was already The game was already lopsided. There was no way they were coming back in the amount of time that was left in the match. But yeah, it was insane. So then I jumped into Gambit and did it in Gambit, and we easily won in Gambit. And so now you've got these because they haven't put out a fix for this yet.
It's coming.
I don't know what they're going to do to fix it. They're going to have to really work on the code or something.
Yeah.
But somebody tried it out with the Hunter, with the golden gun. Mm-hmm. It works there too. However, your golden gun has ammo. And it stops once you're super... So the super bar goes down to the end. When you're doing the flaming swords, once it's gone, you still get flaming swords to throw. But with golden gun, every time you get a kill with golden gun, it puts another bullet in the chamber. Mm-hmm. So you start out with 6, and every time you get a kill with it, you get another bullet back. Once the gold bar goes down, you can still fire off your gun.
Wait, is it 6 or 3?
It's 6. It's 6, depending on, I think, the top or bottom tree that you pick.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I remember having the that hawk helmet when I played with the Hunter.
Oh, if you use Celestial Nighthawk, you get one.
It was one shot, yeah.
Yeah.
But the damage it did.
Yeah, it increases damage.
Ridiculous.
But with this one, you don't regenerate ammo after your super is gone, but you still have golden gun. Mm-hmm. So you get at least like 6 or 5 shots. But once those shots are done, it's done.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, that's what they found. I haven't looked up today. I haven't looked to see if there's anything new that's been discovered today since this glitch has gone live. But yeah, that's a new glitch. So anyway, continue. You did some Cade stuff, and you stopped doing that for Ace of Spades.
Yeah. Saw the Ace of Spades, saw the requirements there. Never mind. I'm done with this. May as well go on to the other storyline because that's what I'm playing for, mostly a story. Also played. Then I went back and played some Fallout 4. Playing with mods in that game, and they're still making mods for the game for PS4. So I've been looking at what's new in that and implementing and seeing what I could put in my old save file. Blow the dust off and start playing some stuff again. I also had a little bit of time with Code Vein. They had a new DLC come out, the Hellfire Knight. Unfortunately, it's not story-based. It's just another element of the depths. It's just an added depth area to go to. Mm-hmm. But there is a very challenging boss at the end of that, and there's some other blood codes that you can get through that as well. So it is worth going through, but it's worth going through, but it's not what I was hoping for. But I guess it's going to come much later because I'm looking for the story elements in this game as well. There's some things in the story that I played through the first time that I want to that I hope that they continue or go further into in that game. So I'm looking forward to that. Played a little bit of a Samurai Showdown as well. There's some more DLC that came out with that. Basara was a new character, Wanfu, who I was looking for because he was one of the original characters in the original Samurai Showdown. I was wondering when he was going to come out, and we haven't gotten Genon yet, so we're going to be waiting on him. Soul Calibur 6 as well had some. It was basically DLC, playing a lot of DLC with the fighting games as well.
Yeah,
in this part. So Street Fighter 5, playing that as was playing that also. Still playing with Nash. I haven't changed characters at all in that game, and people keep telling me to go get someone else, but Nash is who I'm used to. Even though Capcom's nerfed him almost nerfed him out of existence almost.
Yeah. You played any tournaments lately?
Not lately. I could have gone to Comic-Con this late into January.
I was going to say you should have something coming up here pretty soon, right?
Well, Final Round is coming up in March. I'm still deciding whether or not to go or not. I mean, I still got a little time though, so just play it by ear and see what happens later on. Let's see. Other than that, I played some old classics. And speaking of not having to do a lot of thinking, just play. Turn your brain off and play. Play a little bit of Galaga and Dig Dug from the Namco classics.
See, now that's the thing. So Galaga and Dig Dug is constant movement, right?
Yeah.
Constant movement, constant shooting, and that's not what I was looking for, basically. Mm-hmm. I was looking for something that's nice and slow where I could pause and look over things and be like, okay, let's do this. Very strategic type things, which is why a tower defense would have worked for me.
Well, I guess to each his own, because I've played vert shooters, things like that, Ikaruga, playing things like that.
No way I'd play Ikaruga while I was sick. God. That involves some. You see, that's the difference between you and I.
Okay, what?
You love the hard games.
I'll get your money's
You
worth.
like the challenges.
Yeah.
And so when you're sick, you just like a little bit less of a challenge. But for anybody else, it's still a challenge. Like Ikaruga's a that's just, that would not have worked for me being sick.
Oh. Okay.
It's still too fast paced. It's still too it's still me running my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for you, it just comes easier for you.
Well, okay. I can see the polarity changes in the Ikaruga messing with you.
Yeah,
because that's part of it, and then combos and everything like that.
And bullet dodging.
Yeah, bunch of bullets.
Yeah.
So what about something like R-Type?
No.
Pac-Man? Champion Edition?
Oh God, no. That's because that again. As the timer runs down, it raises your blood pressure. It raises your what am I trying to say? It's not necessarily your blood pressure, but it does elevate the
heart rate.
Yeah, but it's
maybe the heart rate, I guess. Because the timer's clicking down. You're trying to beat a score, trying to get as much as you can done, and it gets faster and faster and faster and faster.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, not while I'm sick. Not while I'm sick.
I guess old classics is what I played when I wanted to just wind down, just to turn your brain off and think, just play. Just play.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I'm thinking more along the lines of something like Viva Pinata. A lot of these are just management type sims.
How
about Space Channel 5?
I've never played it. I have no idea.
Okay.
What was the racing game we stopped playing? Where you run around the track, like grabbing things and flying. You can get the weapons and shooting each other.
There's tons of games like that. RC Pro-Am, Revolt,
Twisted Metal.
No, the one that we played in the studio a couple times on stream.
Oh, Speed Runners.
Yes, bad time to play that.
Yeah,
game.
no, would not have played Speed Runners. Remember when we used to play Speed Runners?
Yeah, the Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I remember we used to do that.
You said, you like the character I picked all the time, Falcon. You said Chicken Man.
Yeah, Chicken Man.
That's right.
I haven't played Speedrunners in a while.
Yeah, me either.
I hate that I missed that sale. That thing had like the entire bundle for like $4, and I missed it.
I've got a couple of games from Tiny Build lately. I haven't played any of them, but Graveyard Keeper, The Last Station. Yeah. They have a new one called Not for Broadcast.
Yeah.
And I picked that one up as well. They sent me a code for it, and I picked it up.
I was thinking about.
Go ahead. What else have you played?
I'm trying to think of any others that I need to. I need to start. I was just talking about it in here. I need to start picking up. Start playing Yakuza again because 3, 4, and 5 is going to come out this February, as well as Bayonetta and Vanquish on the 10-year anniversary pack from Platinum. So I wanted to start. So I wanted to start clearing some stuff off my backlog before I start getting in that. But I was thinking about in the chat if anybody could say something about the games that you played that like to just chill out and relax. Like for me, like I said, it's Ikaruga or old classics or things like that. For you, it's
well, I mean, Bama Bryan said Myst, and
Myst, yeah.
I do love Myst. Myst, though, again, Myst would have made me use a lot of my brain,
especially some of those puzzles,
trying to figure out the puzzles and stuff. Like, I wouldn't have even wanted to play any of the room stuff, while I'm sick. Just because of trying to because it requires you. Let me remember where that was. Oh, I don't feel like that.
This still a bad one.
Yeah, and not a bad game. These are not bad games by any means. It's just something that still requires of me more than what I want to put into it.
Well,
maximum entertainment, minimal effort.
Like I don't want to say you could get by doing Hearthstone.
I don't know. I've never played.
I think you could play Hearthstone.
I want to say I tried to play. Is that the card one?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know.
How about something like Columns or
Columns would work.
Columns, Dr. Mario, something like that.
Maybe Dr. Mario. It's been a while since I played Dr. Mario.
Same premise though. Get 3 in a row, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Have you still never played Golf Story?
I haven't. Yeah, I still haven't played that.
The game you got me hooked on.
Only golf I've played was the Golf Club, and I think someone turned me on to Everybody's Golf. I played that one before.
Which I'm actually playing golf now.
See, Golf Club would have been something I would have played while I'm sick, just to just to play some golf.
I don't know. It's kind of you got a whole bunch of things to think about before you take each shot.
But you're not timed.
No, you're not timed.
You
But
know?
there's a whole lot of things you got to consider for every shot.
I understand that.
Especially when you get on the green. You gotta
But
use
when
the
you're not
irons.
timed, so let's look again at Ikaruga. You are timed because you got bullets coming at you, so you need to think fast as to what you're going to do.
And switch polarities as you ship.
Right, I understand. Plants vs. Zombies, you could pause that, right? At least, I think. I don't know.
It's been a long time since I played.
I don't know. Defense Grid was something you could pause and figure out what's going on so you could move things around.
Most tower defenses you can.
Plague Inc. is something I could do that with as well. I could pause it. Pac-Man, you're timed.
Champion Edition, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
mentioning with that, you're timed.
You can play pinball.
Pinball, no, I wouldn't have done that. Too much to.
Have to think.
You don't, but you're still. I'm still trying to beat a high score, and some of the I've done pinball before, where it's taken an hour and a half to play a 3-ball game because of how far I can extend it, and because of what I'm trying to do. Because what I try to do is to move up myself in the leaderboards and see where I'm at among friends, not nationwide.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, like how Brian puts it in the chat room, said a game you can play on cruise control. Just, yeah.
in a sense,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of. Just something that can be played sort of cruise control like.
And like different you and me, it's just we have different thoughts on what we can
Yeah.
and can't play on cruise control. So,
Exactly. I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly how that is. I would have played something like The Island. Is The Island that puzzle game that the dude who did Jonathan Blow that did Braid,
Braid, yeah, okay.
where you're basically on an island and you solve these quick little puzzles until you get to some of the more harder ones. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
What's another? Monument Valley? You ever played that? It's more of a iPad type game. What's it? There's something on PS4 that I've got. I think it's called Rhyme. I think is what it's called. Yeah, that probably would have been something. That damn game. It was a puzzle game. You played as a robot.
Talos Principles.
Talos Principle. Yes, I was thinking Tesla something.
You know, it's so funny. I was just about to say the game, but I was like, no, he really wouldn't want to play that one.
No. Talos Principles, totally.
Yeah, it's
The
a great
music on that is nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
You're not timed. You can just do your stuff until you get into some of the ones where it's like, I need to throw this over there, run and go catch it, and do all this other, but just some of the more simplistic type puzzles would have been fine.
Did you ever play the? I've been meaning to get it. I'll eventually get it. The game where your puzzles are by perspective.
Oh, man, I used to be on. I don't know what's going on with my head, but I know the one you're talking about.
Did you ever play it?
Superliminal?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I did not.
I know.
I heard it got some bad reviews, but I didn't play it.
It's short.
Yeah.
Like it can be beaten.
Did
to
you
that.
get it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I know most people, 2 people I know have played it, said it's about
But
two and a half hours.
Oh, it's just real short.
It's
Okay.
2.5 hours, and it's a $20 game. So it's
Man,
like,
I'm missing a call. Man, I can't
you got?
do it. You ever use the Be My Eyes app?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever used that?
No.
oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm going
I
to
know
take
about-
it and see. If the guy comes in, then that's great. Okay, somebody else already answered the call, so that's good.
Yeah, to
No.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be My Eyes, by the way, and I'll mention this on the show because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on our show. I know I've mentioned it on other shows before. Be My Eyes is an app where visually impaired or blind people will use that app, and it'll go out to everybody else who also has the app who can actually see. And it'll activate the cameras on their phone, and they'll say, hey, can you read this for me? Can you do this for me? So it's rare you get a call because the ratio of blind to sighted. So here we go. There are 193,000 blind people who have the app.
Okay.
People with vision who want to help, 3.5 million. So the chances of you getting a call and getting to that call before somebody else does is very slim. The chances of those 193,000 blind people getting help is very high,
Yeah.
which is fantastic, and that's more than
Very
fine.
Yeah.
But
3.3. You said 3.5 million.
3.5 million.
3.5
Yes.
million people
So-
at a moment's notice, ready to just bam. There you go.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
every
That's nice.
one visually challenged person, there's 18.
Yeah. And so when that call came through, I rarely get a call.
And it's called Be My Eyes.
It's called Be
Yeah.
My Eyes.
I
Yes.
posted
Okay,
in chat.
Be My. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Be My Eyes.
It's
Okay.
fantastic. I have helped a guy read his mail. He wanted to know what the he's like, is this feels like a bill? Is this a bill type thing? And I said, well,
Trash it.
I see what it. Well, no, he was just differentiating from like, is this something? What is this? Is it different than what I think it is? You know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to read the return address of who it was from to him. I was like, that's from a cable company, or that's from the water company, or that does not have anything on it. That is, I don't know what that is. You know, just letting him know. I've read the types of bread that the guy had. Mm-hmm. He's like, is this sourdough or is this whatever? And I said, this is what it is. Well, I mean,
Chat's coming up with some scenarios. I'll say that people could be using it for ill will. But yeah, go ahead.
they're very, very diligent on that. There is first off, when you sign up for this, you have to let them know if you are visually impaired. Mm-hmm. And you have to have proof that you are visually impaired for them to allow you to be on that end of the spectrum.
Right.
Or that end of the that side of the app.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can be on the other side of the app who wants to help out.
Yeah.
Because if you're a person with sight and you get on the people with sight and you want to do something horrible, well, they can't see what you're doing on the other end anyway if a blind person's trying to do that. So whatever, they hang up and try again. And they can report you.
Yeah.
And you can report anybody who's doing it, who's not doing it the right way.
Yeah.
I've never done that before because how do I know that somebody hasn't, he hasn't put his phone down and one of his kids have come up and is being a jerk.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I helped out a school once. They needed to figure out how to turn the visually impaired aspect of their windows on. Not visual, the narrative thing, the one that reads to you what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a whole class. Well, I say a class, but I mean it was a class of about 5 or 6 people, and the teacher was also visually impaired as well. And I guess normally all the computers come with that stuff already on there. And they said, "Hey, we've had a problem," and then they interviewed me afterwards. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. She said, "Thank you so much. We're from," and she told me where they were from. "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from here." "Oh, what do you do?" And blah, blah. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So I love that app, and I endorse that app. So get it. It is completely free. So
Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're way behind.
Yeah, but I haven't played much of anything else. Just those things there. Just getting a bunch of DLC and prepping for new games coming out week of the 17th.
Yeah, we missed the part where some games got delayed. Some rather big anticipated games got delayed. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a break. Here's another game that I think is out now, but it would have been fun to play while I was also sick. It's called The Pedestrian. It's kind of a puzzle game. You got to get from...
Walking sim.
Well, sort of. You get from one end of the level to the other. The levels are very compact, and you have to figure out how to get from one end of the level to the other.
Yeah.
And it's so it's interesting.
Oh, you would have loved this.
You looking at it?
Oh my
Pedestrian?
gosh, yes.
Right?
That is
Total.
something.
That is totally me. Anyway, music from level 1 here. We'll be back with more in-game chat after a bit. We're way behind. And welcome back to In-Game Chats.
Smooth sounds.
Ah, yeah. You're listening to All Jazz.
Jazz Hour.
All the time. Yeah. It's from a game called Coffee Talk.
You kind of have a little bit of a Randy Savage going there.
What? Oh, yeah. Well, if Randy Savage was on like a sedative.
Yeah. It was after,
Brother.
chilling.
That's Hogan. Brothers Hogan. What is
Yeah.
Let's see. Dig It, Slim Jims.
Yeah. Dig It, Mean Gene.
Top of the cream.
Coffee Talk. This is Chill and Smile. Something called Moonbright, I think. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Coffee Talk would have been another good game to play while you're sick because it's very much a narrative type thing. Do you ever play Valhalla or VA11 HA11A? It was like a cyberpunk, and you were a bartender at a cyberpunk place, and you would give drinks, and they would talk to you, and you'd give them advice.
Sounds familiar with that.
It's a very what's it like, a visual, not a visual novel type thing, but sort of a whole lot of reading. Whole lot of reading.
I definitely would have played that.
Yeah.
Oh. The soundtrack's available on Steam. I think this is the same game.
Coffee Talk.
Talk.
It's rather new.
Moonbright, was that the name of that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. This is the same one. Coffee Talk. The soundtrack's on Steam, so yeah, it's downloadable.
Yeah.
Nice.
Coffee Talk. That's right. Break out the Cavassier. No. I know what you're talking about. Hello, ladies. This is the ladies' man. Get yourself a bottle of Cavassier and a bus station skank.
You should do a whole show like that.
I don't know that I could. Listen. I need to clean up my coffee. My coffee's nasty. Now I sound like, what's his name? American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. That's right, it's the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. I got some nasty stuff in my coffee here. I'm going to clean it up because there's a radio jock. You should clean your space because other people use it.
You should be considerate to others.
Yeah, well, you should. You really should. This ain't my building. This ain't my office. This is a space where I work and where other people work after me.
I would get nothing done if you did that the whole show.
There we go.
1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Before we get to your games, Mr. Nate, let's talk on the phone to Chris. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Not much. What's going on, y'all?
Not a whole lot, man.
You finally recovered, huh?
I don't know. My voice is, I think by the end of the show, my voice is going to be gone because it's not holding up too well for doing 2 hours of talking.
But it's good for doing impressions, though.
Yeah, basically what he just answered the phone just now.
Yeah, it's better when I talk like this, and I don't have to project and use my voice. I can just be silly with it.
You could be yourself.
That's right. So anyway, Chris, what is on your mind this evening here on the In-Game Chat Show?
Back on. This has like been 3 weeks now, hasn't it?
It has been 3 weeks. I've been under the weather and it just hasn't been good. So the first weekend, so I took a weekend off, just taking a weekend off. The next weekend, I felt bad and I thought I'm going to sleep all weekend and get rid of it. I did, and it did go away, but my voice also went away with it. And so the next weekend, I had no voice to do a show. And I mean, if you listen during the week, you probably could understand that. But yeah, so now I'm back, and we're back on the air with it too. Mm-hmm. So what's been going on? What's on your mind?
I've been playing some other games. I've been playing Star Ocean First Departure Hour on the Switch, and about a couple weeks ago, I found this random YouTube video about 4 guys playing this one that Revolver Digital did called Heave Ho, and that video of them, arguing and cussing back and forth, they're all 4 of them were playing together, getting to that little stage, the different stages. That was hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest times I've ever laughed so hard at a video.
Plus, a playthrough of someone.
Yeah, they were playing the multiplayer game called Heave Ho, but them going back and forth at each other. It was like an hour and 18 minutes long, but I've never laughed so hard in my life.
I mean, yeah, there are some games that induces rage, no matter how friendly or close someone is. I think we've talked about it before. What was it? Mario Kart was one. Super Puzzle Fighter, that'll start arguments.
Yeah,
and I think Uno Online got some folks as well.
Chris, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of remember that game. It's been a while, but yeah.
What, the Hevo game?
Yeah.
It's vaguely familiar in my head.
That's the one where you use your left and right controller buttons or triggers to grab on the other objects or other people, other players.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
that one.
I remember that, yeah.
Sounds like you got to work together in tandem, really close to get success in that game. So they weren't working very well, were they?
Well, one of them was had from an Irish accent. When he got mad, his Irish accent really come out, and that was hilarious. But you could really hear it come out when he was arguing back and forth in some of his saying.
It's the type of game that gets funnier the more you drink.
Oh, okay. one of those games.
None of those games.
One of those games. Okay.
At least with my friends, it would.
You can especially make people mad if you're the first in the chain and let go of everybody else.
One person messes up, everybody else. Oh, yeah.
That's a fun end of the conversation to be on.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like you said, Nate, if liquor's involved.
Also as well.
Anything else you've been playing?
No, not much. Just been taking it easy as much as possible. And, of course, my allergies have been kicking in, too. And usually when I'm down and out and not feeling too well, I just sleep, and I just, I don't even bother doing anything like that.
Hadn't been the best, man. Has not been the best.
Yeah.
So, but we appreciate you calling and sticking with us, man.
All right. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Death right. Take care now, Chris.
Right.
I'll talk to you later. See you now. You want to get in on the show, you just give us a call. 272-9228. Dusty.
What was it? Is that the movie?
It was a skit on Saturday Night Live called Ladies Man.
But it was a movie.
And then it became a movie,
Okay,
and then he did a
yeah.
movie of
That's
it.
what I
Yeah.
thought.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Meadows
Yes,
was his
yes,
name.
yes.
Yeah. Hey, what have you played lately? Anything?
Well,
Probably not that Warcraft thing that people have been really upset with.
Warcraft?
I don't know.
Oh, Warcraft 3. No,
yeah.
No.
They did something.
I could never get into Warcraft.
I don't know what they did, but apparently people didn't like it.
Oh, well, it was what they didn't do.
Oh.
That was the biggest issue. Big issue with that is just the fact that they took away so much of what the original game was. A lot of custom maps, a lot of...
They state why they did that?
I haven't really been paying attention. I never played Warcraft. I was a World of Warcraft player, but I never played the Warcraft series.
Oh, okay.
I could never get into RTSs and stuff like that. No.
Basically, company took away something that the fans liked.
I don't know. It's Blizzard's gone down a hole.
Okay. Now we'll look it up later. But anyway, what you been playing?
But speaking of Plague, I did play a little bit of Plague's Tale. Have you played that one, Scott?
Plague Tale. Oh, the rat game.
The rat game, yeah.
No, I haven't, but it is now on Xbox Game Pass.
Yes. Well, I was playing it on PC.
Well, also for PC as well, but yeah, so I should download that. And
yeah.
I don't know. Is that
it's visually beautiful.
I have heard some really good things.
If you're sick. Getting chased is not probably the best, having your...
Getting chased by a horde of rats, no.
Oh, no, people.
And people?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to go too much into the story, mainly because I've only played the first chapter and a half, two chapters. So I don't want to misrepresent what it is. But it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. mainly just because I try to not read a whole lot about it. I just kind of try to drop into it just to see. It's very good, story driven. It's very, sneaking around, throwing rocks, distracting people, getting by the very first parts. I'm almost to the part where the plague's going to be introduced. At the moment, they're just trying to figure out why. You play as a little girl, and you're carrying / dragging around her little brother, and you're both just trying to survive. Is basically the synopsis of it, but it's very story driven, and it's almost mythical style aspect of it. But it's a little bit I was playing, so it's been very story driven. I would highly recommend at least starting it, Scott.
Well, yeah, and it's completely free, so I should at least download it and get some playing time with it.
I had to take a little break for a little while because I was studying for a cert. Why Google thought I was saying something, but I've almost beaten Death Stranding. I'm right at the end of it. The last time I was on here, we had just started playing that. Who is it that called?
When?
Spigot.
Spigot. Oh, yeah.
Almost beaten that. I've spent way too many hours on that game of just building, exploring, doing things I'm not really supposed to, but it was just fun just to do them. But the main thing that I've been really playing as of late, at least the last week and a half, is Escape from Tarkov. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Yes. I think so, yeah. Yeah, no. I've seen a lot of streamers start to play that, or YouTubers playing that. What is it?
I don't know what genre it's considered, but essentially you go into, you pick your area. So you can do two things. So basically you can go into an area. There's AI, which is called scavs, but then there's actual players called PMCs.
Yeah.
The game's very highly customizable to the extent to where the guns break down to pieces. So, like, you could find just a bolt, just the slide.
Oh.
But that can all be interchanged. But it's all real-life guns. You can put rails. You can find rails, but you pretty much start off with nothing. And you go into what's called a raid as either a scav, which is a computer, and they have they're like their own, I'll just say faction, and they have low weapon stuff, but you can go in as one of them, and then the scav are on your team, and then you're fighting against the players. But that's a way you can start building up loot and getting gear off of other people. If you go in as a PMC, which is your main character, any gear that you go in with, if you die, you lose everything.
Of course.
So, but you can get all of that off of other people. So it's how you can start to build your gear. But it's all very, very highly customizable. It's very detailed, as in each limb has health. Each limb, if you bleed, you have to bandage. If you don't, you'll lose consciousness of that arm or leg or wherever. So you have to bring...
Oh, it's like Fallout then.
Yeah, you have to bring bandages, which stop bleeding. But then you have to bring morphine, which stops the pain, because if you're in pain, your screen starts to go blurry and you can't aim worth anything.
Yeah.
But then what's also neat is just the fact that, like, your visors, when you pull them down, like the screen becomes slightly blurry, as if it's something, your eyes aren't crystal clear. You can go in at night. It's pitch black, and you have to have night vision and stuff like that. You can go during the day. All of the ammo, there's probably, there's about 8 different types of shotgun shells you can use, different types of calibers. Everything's very realistic in the aspect of armor penetration. So, like, your 9mm aren't going to penetrate your standard vests, but a 7.62 might. It's very milsim. A couple things that they've introduced that I'm like, man, I wish way more games like Battlefield and such have introduced these things. But when you're crouched, you can adjust your height
Mhm.
So like you can peek up and then peek back down. You can check if there's one in the chamber. You can pull out your clip, see how much is in there. Just very neat little things like that.
So none of those. So is there a display to let you know how many bullets you got? You have to do that, or is it just a little.
If you pick up a
detail thing?
gun, you're gonna have no clue how much ammo is in it.
Oh, so you have to look at the clip or whatever to see.
You have
Okay.
to pull it out to see. Otherwise,
Okay.
you have zero clue.
Yeah, because
And it'll only tell you, like, if you pull it out, because, in real life, you'd be able to kind of judge by weight.
Yeah.
That's all they're judging it by. So they're, like, about half full.
Yeah, because any shooting game, you're used to like having some display tell you how many rounds or clips you got,
Immediately.
or something, or like Halo
Yep.
did have the little display, a little LED of how much you got in there. So in this one, you just like look and see.
And it's detailed to the point where, like, all of your gear, so you have to wear body armor, but
Right.
then you also have your vest, which is where your ammo's stored, and then you have your backpack. So if you're carrying extra ammo and it's in your backpack, you have to manually get that out of your backpack to reload your gun. But if it's in your vest, then you can just real quick reload. If you hold R, you reload faster. But he just pulls the clip out, throws it, switch to the next one. As if if you do the slow reload, he puts it back in the vest. That way you still have your clip, so you can reload it with your other ammo.
Is there a penalty for doing a quick reload when you have ammo in your?
You lose the ammo.
You lose the ammo. Okay, yeah.
But you can pick your clip back up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you go through an area that was a firefight, if you see clips on the ground, you can go pick them up. But the goal is to go in, kill other people or scavs, and then collect their gear, and then get to the exit points. Each map has about an hour length, and you can leave whenever you want.
Yeah. It sounds like a more detailed, hardcore version of PUBG or something like that. Like
It is, except you, unless you run as a scav, you control with what you're going in there with. But then you're going through the areas, also finding parts, which you can cash in for money. And when I mean parts, is like hard drives, stuff like that. Because kind of a somewhat war-torn area, stuff like that. So you're looking for supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you also have to control that amount of time your food and water. So you also got to control those type of things as well.
Yeah.
And then if you break a limb, you got to bring braces to patch that, so you can temporarily, get through and such. But it's just a very detailed. You can control your leans.
Yeah, it's
not
like,
just a straight lean.
Yeah, it just felt like I said, it felt like a more detailed version of PUBG. It was like, for me, Fallout New Vegas, realistic, the hardcore survival mode. When I've never had to think about water or food or things like that until I played New Vegas like that. I'm like, man, all this micromanagement I got to do, and my ammo's too heavy. I can't carry as much ammo as I'm used to. So it's a lot of heavy duty resource management and finding an on the fly resupply.
Yeah, and there's no hit markers, so unless you see them drop, you don't know if you hit them or not. You go in with teammates, you don't know. Like, it doesn't just pop their name up over their head or anything. You just have to know what they look like.
Friend or foe? I forget. Do I shoot or do I back off? Or okay.
But what's cool, so like when you go in as a scav, you can only be a scav every 30 minutes, and that drops you into an actual ongoing game as one of the AI, and then you become them with whatever gear they have. But the scav are on your side unless you kill one of them, and then they turn on you as well. So if you want to, you can, but kind of helps you start off when you don't really have a whole lot of gear and such. Then the currencies, are your rubles, U.S. and then euros, and then all the different vendors accept different types of monies, and you got to buy parts and stuff from there. But you can change, the springs within an AK, the type of spring you're using for harder tension, faster reload, stuff like that. I think there's like 20 different stocks for different guns and stuff like that, and it's just highly customizable, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. Now, you said earlier you had like 8 different types of shotgun shells with all that different variety of ammo around. I mean, I would think it's like hard to bulk gather up enough ammo to be.
I mean, it just depends what you're doing. What do you mean?
Like if I have a certain type of gun, a certain type of ammo, there's like 8 different types. I'm just hoping that is it going to be like a 1 in 8 chance I'm going to get the right ammo that I pick up?
Well, when I mean 8 different types, so there's only, there's 2 base calibers for shotguns, and then there's varieties within that caliber. So typically you're going to find, but like with that type of gun, you're going to go in with your ammo, unless you're just picking up a random gun off of someone, But what just kind of made me think of another thing is like when you're searching, if it's someone with like a big backpack, it takes you 15-20 seconds to search through that bag before it starts revealing what's actually in the bag.
So you're stuck there?
So you have to sit there and search through the bag and sit there and wait and just kind of listen. And that's what's been really impressive with the game is the sound. It's very sound intensive. And you can, the sound quality is high if you can tell when someone's walking, which direction.
Now, can you stop searching at a moment's notice and look around? Okay, you can do that. But would you have to start back over?
No.
Okay.
No. However far you've searched, it continues once you start again.
Okay.
But it's a very cool game. It's very involved.
Yeah.
You do get a small container, and depending which version of the game, you get a bigger container. But if you die, whatever's in that container comes back to you. So there are a certain amount of things you can save.
Okay.
But it's been a very cool milsim. I still play PUBG, but it's a lot more detailed PUBG.
Yeah, it sounds I would say hardcore, more intense version of PUBG. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've been trying to beat The Witcher. About halfway through.
First one or
third?
Third. Okay.
I have the first 2, but I've never played them.
Yeah. Well, I played the first one, and
really,
yeah, I played the first one on start to finish. Way back when the third one was going to be releasing, I wanted to play 1 and 2. What?
That's a long.
It's a bit ways back, and playing 1 was tough because it did not hold up well graphically.
That's what I've seen.
And then I tried to play 2, and there was some problem with my controls or something. I can't remember what it was. There were some issues with it, and I never actually got to. And then of course 3 released, and I played some of it. I didn't play all of it. It's quite a big game.
You can get so distracted in that game. I mean, you can just start doing your main quest and then veer off, and that one can be bad.
Yeah. Let's take a break and then let's try and run through news that we've got because there is a lot, but we'll run through what we can after the break here. This is music from Plague Inc. The track is called Adverse Reactions. I believe this is the one with the zombie infection. But we'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from a game called Temtem. Don't know anything about it. But this is called Tamer Battle is the name of this one, but it's Temtem, Temtem. I really honestly do not know a thing about this game. So, other than it was on the list of new games from Steam's list, and so that's why I grabbed the music for it. So, all right, we're going to do a quick rundown of news, and I mean a quick rundown of news. Sony's not going to participate in E3 this year, which is very strange considering they have a new console coming out. We know that they're releasing a console this year. Not participating in E3 is very, very strange for them to do with a new console. I thought for sure if they were actually going to do a new console, they would do E3, but no, they're not. I'm happy with this. I'm okay with it. I'm surprised, but I'm okay with it because I prefer the companies doing their own thing, kind of like Nintendo does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm sort of for that. I'm ready for E3 to honestly just die.
The amount of rage on the internet was just hilarious.
I have no idea about the rage, but I'm just ready for E3 to die.
How can they do that?
I know.
Well,
because
pretty easily.
Yeah.
They have enough money from PS4 alone.
Yeah. Was anybody else raging when other companies did that? Probably not.
People rage about everything.
That's true.
Honestly, Sony's a pretty big company to say that they're not gonna participate in E3.
They didn't last year, right?
No, they didn't. So
was that their first year?
That was their first year. It was very strange. It was very strange to not have Sony
a lot
do
of
the
time got opened up.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Epic Games Store topped $680 million in player spending. I'm guessing in last year is when there it was. Players spent over $61 billion on mobile games in 2019.
I believe that.
God, that is ridiculous. I did not contribute to that $61 billion.
Me either. When are we going to start developing our in-game chat mobile game?
I don't know. You're the guy who does that.
No, not anymore. I stopped programming a long time ago.
What genre would that be? Talk show simulator?
It would be like you click the text of what they say.
They mention a game, it all automatically hypertext to where you need to go. Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed to September. I was expecting myself to be sitting down playing that this spring, but no, moved to September.
That's the last thing I pre-ordered before my Gamers Club thingy expired.
Yeah, I've still got time on that thing. Good while, too.
Until they get rid of it.
Dying Light 2 got delayed, but we don't know when that's coming. They delayed that indefinitely.
That one's a weird situation.
It never got picked up as far as it saying, hey, we'll release later this year. No, they didn't give us a date. They're just saying, it's not coming out. Well, that's all we got to tell you. Mm-hmm. Horizon Zero Dawn may be getting a PC release later this year. If it does, that would be great and kind of show that Sony is on board with this whole, hey, it ain't just got to be our own console thing. You guys can play on PC too.
But they kind of already are doing that.
They did it with something else. It was some other game they put out there. Huh?
Death Stranding.
Stranding? Was that one of them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean you can remote play on PC already.
But Death Stranding is not a Sony-owned... The studio is not owned by Sony who developed the game.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This would be the first time this is happening.
Right, a first-party title.
Sort of an exclusive to Sony, a timed exclusive.
Only thing I think about was the show.
Yeah, right, the show. That's the other one. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, we talked about why that possibly was going on anyway.
What else do we get? Atari is opening up hotels. Xbox Live games with gold this month. Isle of Man, which is February 1st through the 29th. Call of Cthulhu is February 16th through March 15th. Xbox 360 is Fable Heroes, and then Star Wars Battlefront. I think I need to go. Oh, it's I'm sorry. It's Isle of Man. It's the it's like a motocross game. Motorcycles, bikes, racing, whatever all that is.
Sports.
All right. PlayStation Plus games for this month. BioShock The Collection, which gives you BioShock, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite, and The Sims 4.
And
Firewall 0 Hour.
PSVR.
That's a PSVR game? Okay. It's a PSVR game.
Which they haven't done in a long time.
No, they haven't.
I'll have to put that in my library then.
Yeah.
Bioshock, I mean.
Nintendo Switch had its most successful sales year, yet it only took 3, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Google responds to complaints of slow Stadia announcements. Stadia is not doing well for Google.
What is Stadia?
It's that thing where you can play it anywhere in a Chrome browser.
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I can't tell.
NVIDIA just released theirs.
They did, yeah.
$5 a month.
They did. Yeah, see, there's Star66 asking if we tried GeForce Now.
I thought about it. Now it's about as far as it went.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? No new Switch models planned for 2020, although those Animal Crossing...
They look pretty.
Those Animal Crossing Switches, the Switch, they're completely sold out everywhere.
Yeah. Never played Animal Crossing.
It's, you like Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably like Animal Crossing. It's not necessarily
the
that...
new Pokemons either.
It's not necessarily that it's got to go around and collect creature type, that sort of thing. Yeah, no, it's not really like that.
Got to farm them all.
Yeah, it is sort of. It's got a little bit of a. It's kind of a sim situation. You're not. I don't know. It's like a citizen sim. Like you're the citizen of a town, and you're not a mayor. You're not running the town, but you got a home, and you go out and you get. I don't know, man. It's
all right.
Yeah.
This is your home.
Says a social simulation game.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Didn't Sony do one of those?
What, Sony Home? PlayStation Home? Yeah. Fallout 76 is finally coming to Steam in April. And Metro Exodus will get a Steam release on Saturday, a week from today. That'll finally break free from its 1-year exclusive to Epic Game Store.
Garbage.
What, Epic Game Store is garbage?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Fallout.
Oh,
yeah,
Fallout 76.
garbage.
Yeah, fine.
Although I still haven't done anything with Epic. I've never downloaded it. I've never done any of the free games.
Blizzard is offering refunds for Warcraft 3 Reforged.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
Refunds. No matter how long you've played the game, you still get a refund.
That's not, that's a pretty good act of a company to do that and say, hey, here you go, Yeah. Anthem still hasn't taken down its Christmas decorations. Anthem's Christmas event is still going on.
Act now. That's so sad. That game. Oof.
Yeah, the Christmas event in Anthem is still going on.
That cracked me up.
They just forgot, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Dan Houser is leaving Rockstar. Mm-hmm. He's one of the co-founders of the company, and he is leaving Rockstar. They issued a short statement on that, but his latest role with the company was vice president of creative. He did Grand Theft Auto 5. He was a lead writer on Grand Theft Auto 5 and both Red Dead Redemption games. He is not talking to anybody. There has really been no follow-up on this whole thing because he hasn't done an interview or anything else.
Bad break.
That is all we know. It doesn't seem like it. Well, I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know.
If he's going on to bigger, better things, if it was a mutually...
He's also been there a long time. So it's like...
Well, sometimes companies... Okay, so this is tinfoil hat. Put it on right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes companies can find out about something and they'll get ahead of it by getting rid of the guy that's like, okay, before this breaks, we got to get rid of you.
Makes sense.
But so far, nothing's come out. And I'm also not saying that there's anything like that.
Yeah.
But...
Do you have insider knowledge?
I don't. But if there was any kind of evidence of insider trading or whatever, if there was embezzlement that maybe he got caught with, or Sexual harassment could come around, anything like that. They company can kind of get out in front of it and go ahead and fire him before it comes out. So they've already made the step. I am not saying that any of that is known. Nothing is known.
No sources.
Yeah.
Scott has none.
There's nothing that is known as to why he is leaving Rockstar, but he's leaving. Honestly, Lethal Migraine, you know what? That could have been something that happened. Microsoft could have money-hatted that man and said, come work with us, build games for us. Here's a whole bunch of Ninja money. We paid Ninja to come over here, so here's a whole bunch of Ninja money. Come over here and make games. It's just really strange. A co-founder of a company is leaving. And with virtual, Rockstar ain't having a problem, you know?
No, they're not.
There's been no word about Rockstar having any sort of financial issues, any struggles of any kind. There's nothing out there to show that he was getting off a sinking ship.
Yeah.
You know?
Folks are still playing GTA, Grand Theft Auto Online.
Which makes it all the more speculative as to what is going on.
Yeah.
Who was the other one that left? It was the Gears of War boss. He left.
That's recently as well?
Yeah. And he's going over to work on Diablo. What was his name again? It was Rod Ferguson. Brother known as Turd. He was working on Gears of War since the series' inception, and he was in charge of the entire franchise, but he announced that he's leaving Microsoft, and he's moving over to oversee Diablo at Blizzard. This one's fine. This one is, hey, I'm leaving a company to work on another game at a different company.
Yeah.
There's an excuse. There's a reason. There's there's everything we need to know as to what happened here.
Yeah.
He got offered more money. He's going off to do this. Hauser from Rockstar, we don't know a thing as to what's going on there.
All we know is he's leaving.
Just that he is leaving, and we don't know why or where he's going or what's going to happen. You know? I remember when Hennig left Naughty Dog, that was like, oh, what's going on? Why is that? And then, of course, it wasn't very long afterwards, maybe days, that we started hearing rumors about what might have happened over there.
Right.
And that was just essentially a spat between the workers or whatever. There was but she also wasn't the co-founder of the company, of Naughty Dog or anything. This guy started, it's his baby.
Yeah.
And he's leaving. And it doesn't say that he's fired or anything. He's just departing. There's no... Let me read the actual statement real quick before we got to take a break. We're extremely grateful for his contributions. Rockstar Games has built some of the most critically acclaimed and commercially successful game worlds. Blah, 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 blah. That is it. He will be leaving the company next month. Having been on break since 2019, news of his departure, his last day will be March 11th, was made official today. His last role with the company was Vice President Creative. Contacted for comment, a Rockstar representative tells Kotaku that Sam Hauser's role with Rockstar Games... That was Dan. That was Dan Hauser.
It is.
Well, then why do they say Sam?
Typo.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's two typos. It's Dan, Sam. I don't know. Dan Hauser's role with Rockstar Games, which he founded in 1998, remains unchanged. I don't know what that means. Maybe he has a brother? I don't know. I'm all kinds of confused. And we don't have time to worry about it anymore. We got to go.
Yeah, we'll find out later then.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. If you want to join us online, you can find our Steam group. We've got a Discord for Destiny, and we talk about other things than just that. So join us over there for that. And we appreciate you sticking with us for the past 3 weeks while we've been on hiatus here. But we should be back and ready to do this thing again next week. We'll be Nateless. We might be Mattless, but RJ and myself, we will be here for you. Here's music from Journey to the Savage Planet, the main menu music. You guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Saturday. Nate, thanks again.
Absolutely.